So one of the things that people pleasers end up doing is they are trading away their power as they are people pleasing. It's a maladaptive coping mechanism, often established in childhood as a safety strategy for dealing with psychologically dominating people. Often these are the kind of people that will just escalate. Like they will go to a freaking crazy level. And so you just learn as a child to not even, like, do just whatever you want. The problem is that is one of the things that contributes to learned helplessness, where you learn that you cannot help yourself and that no one will come and help you. And that submitting to this person who is psychologically dominating is your safest strategy. Maladaptive coping mechanisms are often effective in childhood, and then because they're maladaptive, when we become adults, they, instead of being protective, then become a way that we are putting ourselves in more danger and more risk. So one of the elements of power is that the things that we say become. When we speak, the thing happens. If you're president of the United States, if you're the CEO of a company, you basically, you come up with something and you speak it into existence and it happens. When you are a people pleaser, you set boundaries, but then people don't respect them and there are no enforced consequences for them. And so over time, this particular strategy is very disempowering, and it erodes and eats away at our self-esteem and our self-worth, because your word has no value. Basically, you know, you kind of cave to whomever is the most psychologically dominant person in the room. And so a strategy that kept you safe as a child is now one that puts you at risk as an adult. And so it's really important for victims of abuse, particularly child victims of abuse, is to learn where appropriate boundaries are and then learn how to enforce those boundaries. And so, you know, for example, you're the boss of you. If someone is not treating you correctly, you don't say, hey, one of my boundaries is that you treat me correctly. You go, oh, okay, I'm gonna leave now. And you just don't engage with that person. There are legal boundaries. There are boundaries that you can have other people assist you with, like attorneys or, you know, people at work. Having allies is very important. And so knowing those soft skills of how to cultivate people who are on your team is really important. But basically getting to a point where what you say becomes, you have strength and power in your own word. You know that you have integrity. And the other thing too is when you become an adult, a lot of victims of abuse will be looking for good people. And they're really afraid, oh no, what if I choose wrong and this is a bad person and not a good person? And they're trying to figure out up front if this is like a safe person or an unsafe person. But when you're a person who recognizes red flags, can set your own boundaries and enforce those boundaries, then you don't have to worry about other people to the same degree, because you know that you can keep yourself safe. And that's why being a people pleaser, being a doormat, you're basically indicating that you are someone who can be victimized. Is it fair? No. But that's one of the ways that we learn to keep ourselves safe and as part of our healing journey.